everyone, and welcome to another episode of AOE Legends, a podcast where we interview AOE pro players as well as people from the community. We try to learn about their life and game experiences, and we bring this content to you via video or sound. You can find us on Spotify or wherever you get your podcast from. You can also find us on YouTube. You can support us by subscribing to our channel, liking, and watching our videos. Today, we have a legend of the game. He's an Argentinian AOE pro player. He streams on Twitch, and he also has a 13,500 subscribers YouTube channel. Please welcome Capoch.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you? Nice to meet you, and thank you for being here with us today.
Yeah, same. I'm good.
Did I miss anything in your intro? Is there anything you would like to add?
No, it's fine. It was perfect. So.
Nice. Well, let's talk about yourself first. So your name is Patricio del Olmo, right?
Yeah. I'm 35.
Yeah.
So I used to play AOE 2 like 20 years ago. I actually started playing around 22 years ago. And after a couple of years, I quit around 2005. And then came back with the pandemic. I started playing again with the AOE 2 DE. And I kind of got into the game again and started playing competitive afterwards. And now I'm like from 2021 onwards, I've been streaming a lot lately. So I'm still playing. Also playing a bit of AOE 4 too.
Nice, amazing, yeah. So where does your name Capoch come from? Did you come up with it or a friend did?
No, I actually did. They used to, when I was little, they used to call me cabezón, which means big-headed. So I didn't like it much. So I started telling people to call me Capocha or Capoch. So it's from that.
Nice. That's a
It's
sweet
been
story.
forever.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I guess it's like your childhood nickname. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I never thought of that. I just came up with the weirdest name. Mine is like the Yellow Wall, but that's based on being a fan from Borussia Dortmund, and they have the yellow wall in their fan face at the back, like the ultras or whatever that they're called in Germany.
Okay, it makes sense.
Yeah. So, are you living in Argentina right now, or you live somewhere else?
Yes, I'm living in Argentina. Yeah.
Nice.
I never lived anywhere else. I just traveled for vacations or for tournaments.
Are you at the capital, or where are you?
I'm close. I'm actually nearby, like 20 kilometers from the capital.
Okay, so you're very right there. Awesome. And what else do you do aside from playing?
Well, since 2021, I've been just dedicating full time to AOE. But before that, I got my university degree in business, and then started working a lot. But with the pandemic and some stuff that I didn't like much at work, I decided to try gaming for once. I never did a full-time gaming experience, so I wanted to test the experience and see how it goes. And so far, it's been a year and a few months doing this, and even though I've been enjoying it, it's been hard sometimes. So
Yeah, I can relate that, I'm just starting up, and I understand that it can be difficult to have the energy to entertain people all the time, because that's what a lot of people expect.
yeah, and not also that you need to stay competitive. That's also something hard that sometimes you want to do other stuff or maybe be like just try to have fun doing something else, but you need to be like or even watching or playing or whatever. So it's hard. Some tournaments are really demanding.
Are you currently preparing for any tournaments right now for the future?
Well, I've been playing since 2 months ago. I've been trying to earn some points to qualify to Red Bull Wololo Legacy for AOE 4. And now I've started training a bit for AOE 2 Red Bull 2. So I'm trying to qualify for both. Uh, let's see how it goes. I hope I can qualify for one.
Yeah, good luck. I think you're a great player, and if you put in the hard work, I'm more sure you're probably going to get your points. So,
Yeah, hopefully.
A lot of people give AOE 4 a bad rep. I think it's just a completely different game. How are you liking playing both
Well,
games?
I actually think that it kind of deserves a bad rep because the game came out in such a poor state that it sucked. That's basically. But I feel like right now it's in a good state, and I'm enjoying it. And I would say right now it finally feels like a polished game. Um, but of course, obviously, it lost a lot of people on the way. It's been like almost, I don't know if it's 10 months or 9 months already since it came out. So it's been hard. And yeah, it's a completely different game. You can't compare AoE 2 with AoE 4. It's like comparing, I would say, like StarCraft 2 with AoE 2. It's a different game, even though it's a same setting, like
Yeah.
medieval stuff and whatever. But it's a completely different game. It's other RTS. Some mechanics are the same. But in every RTS you have similar mechanics. But other than that, the game is completely different.
Do you like having the variety of being able to switch between one game and the other?
Yeah, I actually enjoy playing both. Sometimes I like a bit more one than the other, but the thing that kind of sucks is that it's hard to stay competitive or be at the top level at both at the same time. It's like you can't compete against uh, players that are dedicated full time to only one game. So
Yeah.
that's what makes it so hard. Like, and I don't know if it's the right decision to try to qualify for both or play both. But since I've been enjoying AOE 4 and also AOE 2, I just wanted to give it a try and see how it goes.
Nice. And well, right now your elo, like your max has been 2522, and right now it's 2357. So it looks like you're putting in the hard work to get back to like the very top. Like you're in the top 10, right, or something like that with all the Smurf accounts, or
I would say top 15,
top
top
15.
10 right now. No, yeah, right now I would say top 15, not top 10 for sure.
Nice. And
Even though I qualified to Titans League tournament, but that was kind of lucky, I guess.
yeah, how did you like the tournament? How did it go?
Yeah, well, actually, I didn't train. My objective in that tournament, since I wasn't playing IOE2 during the group stage, my objective was trying to stay on Platinum League. Because since like the bottom two players of each group get delegated to Gold League, which is a much worse league, obviously. My idea was okay, since I'm playing AOE4, let's try to stay kind of competitive in AOE2. But somehow I made it through, and I think it was a bit because I got lucky and my group wasn't that hard compared maybe to other groups.
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, it's a very interesting format. I really like it because it's not like a tournament where like it's very cut off, where you have like direct elimination matches. It's more like a league, right?
Yeah, it's a league, but it's still very hard because if you don't perform well, you just go to the Gold League, which is like completely different, and the prices really are set below the Platinum League. So it's still hard because you need to do well to stay in Platinum. That's the issue. So, but I think with a few fixes or tricks, small tricks to the league, it will even get better. So.
Nice. And back in the day when you were playing in 2001, uh, you were also in the top 10. I was looking at some stats, like you were winning a lot of tournaments. What was the
Yeah,
competitive scene
well,
like back then?
well, back then I actually was like top three, but I believe that the player base was smaller. So and also I was in the Legion clan, which hosted a lot of tournaments, and I was there with Chris and Doubt, which were also the other more top two players, I would say. And then there were a lot of Koreans and other players that don't play anymore. But I think it was good. Like there was no social media, nothing, so it was harder to improve. Actually, you need to put more into now. It's easy. Well, not easy, but it's much easier to learn the game because I remember back then people didn't like to record the game, so they
Uh,
don't steal way of playing, or they don't steal strategies. And since like that was the only way you could learn, and there were no streaming, no YouTube, no nothing. It was hard to learn and play. So you need to put in the hours.
So there wasn't really like a set meta, right? Everybody had their own style at the time.
Well, there was a meta. The meta was kind of weird back then. The people didn't use to wall and played a lot of skirms. So yeah, it wasn't, and it was mostly Hans War on Arabia.
Yeah, that's true.
That's basically. And then water maps, it was mostly Viking War. Back then you only had 13 ships, so it was a completely different game.
Yeah. Do you remember any rivalries you had? Like any players that you faced that were tough opponents at the time?
I think like the toughest opponents back then were Coven and Chris, I think. And there were a lot of good players, like it was Ognis from Legion 2, then Doubt, obviously. But Doubt kind of improved later. Like when I started, I think he started playing later than I did. So he got better later when I kind of was starting play. When I was starting to play less, or I was more into Warcraft 3 rather than AOE 2.
Nice. And so, how did you get into the game at the time? Did somebody introduce you to the game, or you just picked it up?
Well, I remember picking up a PC Gamer, which was a magazine from a gaming magazine, and I remember like there was a preview of AOE 2, and I said, okay. Well, before that, I actually played AOE 1, but just the campaigns and just like single player. There was no internet back then. So, and then I remember seeing this magazine and seeing like, wow, the graphics were great for that time, and I said I need to play this game when it comes out. And then it came out, and I started playing it. I also started playing it with my brother. We had two PCs by that time, and then internet appeared, and we decided to try, and both of us got into Gaming Zone, which was the platform where AOE 2 kind of used to be used. You hosted lobbies and stuff. And we started playing Black Forest and some games. We were noobs and we were enjoying the game. And then after a few months, my brother kind of quit, and I kept playing a bit. And then I started like transitioning into Arabia. And I then decided, why did I play Black Forest? There was a better map, and well, then I started learning Arabia, and then I remember my first tournament was in 2001, or one of my firsts. I don't remember, like 2000, like December 2001. It was the Reef Rumble where I got second place, and like from that point onwards, I just started like got into Legion, got like started growing a lot, learning maps, learning the game entirely.
That's amazing. That's a really cool journey. The fact that you went just from having fun to playing tournaments and, putting in the work to like get to that competitive scene, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's been fun.
So, did you play other versions of the game? Like you said, AOE 1? Did you play Age of
Well,
Mythology? Did you do that
well,
for fun?
yeah. I played a lot before AOE. I used to play Counter Strike, and I played competitive for a while. But then I quit for AOE 2 in that year, 2001, like late 2001. And then obviously AOE 1 I didn't even play online. I started playing AOE 2 online. And then I remember Age of Mythology came out in 2003, and I played it too. I remember going to WCG, which was a worldwide tournament in 2003 for Age of Mythology, where I met Chris, and it was in Korea at that time. And then I also, by then I started playing Warcraft 3. I didn't play much Age of Mythology. I just felt like the game wasn't it was good, it was fun, but after a while it just, it didn't keep you playing.
Yeah, it was. I think the Age of Mythology was really cool for the storyline, of like getting to see the whole story of the campaign with the mythology. But for one on one, they had some very weird tricks that could be
Yeah, well,
deciders.
yeah, that's true. I don't think it was very well balanced. And then I remember Titans came out, and it just the game got even more unbalanced. So,
Yeah.
and the Titans weren't cool. So I remember playing my last Age of Mythology tournament probably around after that WCG tournament, around December 2003, and then I didn't play it anymore after that. I just kept playing some AOE 2 and playing a bit of Warcraft back then.
Do you miss playing for fun, or do you just go and play other
No,
games for fun?
I still play for fun, like, but the only parts that I don't think are fun are tournaments because they are more about pressure and trying to play well. So well, but obviously if you win, it's fun.
Nice.
So
And now that you're full time, do you face any challenges by being a full time creator? Is there a lot of work involved that people might not see behind the scenes?
well, it's sometimes it's hard to balance everything you need to do, and also the just keep your personal life balance. You know, the work personal life balance. It obviously it's hard with a normal job. I think and feel it's even harder doing this because it's not like you only need to stream. You also need to play, or at least for me. I mean, probably other full time streamers or whatever probably just play a game and enjoy and are more like influencers and don't compete or whatever. But for me, it's like you need to try to perform well in tournaments, or you put certain goals like to achieve in tournaments, and that's very important too. And then you have other parts that you need to do to like to um, keep doing this full time, like to make it work. Because if I just stream a bit and play tournaments, it's probably not worth it. So there's also coaching. There's also some social media stuff. Always need to think of what to do to keep keep everything moving so it works well and so you can keep doing this. Because if I just say, okay, I'm not gonna stream, I'm gonna only play tournaments, well, probably I need to go back to the old life,
Yeah,
you know.
no, it makes sense. And what do you describe your gameplay like? Like, is it more like aggressive, more boomy? Like from what I've seen, you really commit to strategies, which I like. Like if you pick something, you're committed to that, and you're really good at defending. But like, from your perspective, what's your
Well,
gameplay
I
style?
like, I like a bit of both. Like I like to boom, but also I play sometimes really aggressive. So it's just like I don't feel like I excel at anything. Like I don't have super micro, I don't have super macro. Probably my decision making isn't sometimes the greatest, but it's fine. Sometimes sometimes I perform better in some areas than in others. But it's not like I'm like, I don't know, probably like Leary that is the super micro god and stuff like that. Like I don't have that label. But I do okay mostly on everything. And my game style, I would say, I like to be more open to any strategies. Not like I'm like, okay, I like to boom and that's all I do.
Yeah,
I like sometimes like to play aggressive because it's more fun. Sometimes I like to try to adapt to think like my strategy will be based on what I feel it's the best for that time. And obviously sometimes it's a mistake, but sometimes it's okay. It works well.
yeah. But I mean, we all seen it. We all seen your games, and there's a lot of the ones I've seen where like you are being aggressive or the other way around, but you always manage to defend somehow. It's incredible how you can just pull it together and keep your economy going or make a switch. So overall, yeah, you have a really good adaptable gameplay.
Thank you. Well, it's hard sometimes when you are super aggressive, like the macro tends to fail a bit because when if you lose one or two mangonels,
Yeah.
because you are trying to macro at home, then your aggressiveness kind of fails. So it's hard. I feel like being aggressive it's harder than just staying home and defending. But sometimes um, being defensive it just doesn't work well because you lose the map control. you're just stuck at your base. So,
what would you tell someone who wants to improve at the game?
well, there's depending on their elo basically. If they are very low elo, I would say, well, remember to keep your TC going. Try never to keep it idle. Remember to spend all your resources. Try to learn an opening like a build order, and then from there start from there. Then depending on the elo, obviously, like at higher elos, there are more different details and stuff that can help a bit, but at really low elo, like 1,000 like or lower, I would say start from there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's definitely a big mistake that you see below 1,000. But that's a lot of people that probably are getting into the game and they don't even know all the different tricks that are even hidden. Some people didn't, when I started playing, I didn't even know the food decayed. Like there were so many things that are not written anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not like the game is easy to learn. Like it has 42 civilizations right now. So it's like I remember coming back in 2020, and I was like, "There's like 35 civilizations. How am I gonna learn this shit?"
Yeah, it's more than double when you left.
Well, it's almost triple. I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's a lot.
I was like, yeah, I remember playing against like my first game against Burmese. I remember seeing a Ramba and I was, what's this unit? How do I kill it? And well, so yeah, it's hard. It's not an easy game, and I think that's one of the reasons why the player base is not, or at least it's not such a popular game. Even though it's a RTS genre, is not so popular. But I mean, I remember back then it was really popular before the MOBAs or before the battle royales even existed.
Do you think we're in a point where we're a bit too spoiled with, getting a lot of support like patches and, community tournaments, a lot of improvements, new civs? Do you think a lot of people don't realize where we are? Because back in the day, you didn't get all these things.
Yeah, that's true. But probably back in the day, I think like the industry as a whole has increased and improved a lot. So I mean, other games get a lot more attention, but that's because they are more popular. So I think it's fine that we get some patches and some tournaments. It's like the player base is big enough for at least some love.
Nice. Well, I have another section just to end the podcast. It's called Handcart Questions. I basically just ask you flash questions with very short answers. So here's the first one. What is your favorite mod?
My favorite mod?
Yeah.
I would say the one with the trees that gets a shadow below. Identical pine tree, I think it's called.
Improved small trees or something like that. But yeah.
Yeah, identical pine tree. I think it's the author. It's Anne. I think Anne HQ or HK. I think.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, it helps a lot for the holes.
Yeah, oh my god, it's crazy. There's so many times you see so much investment, right, and like time.
Yeah, that's true.
And the one freaking hole, man.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I think that mod just kind of when I started using it, I didn't throw any more games because of holes. Kinda. I still get some holes sometimes, but just not as much as before having that mod.
Yeah, now I think that the problem lies more with the hills and the buildings. How you can see well, there's so many hills around your town center.
Yeah, but that happens if you just place buildings on hills. If you just make palisades, you don't get any holes. So
true.
It's easier.
And what's your favorite civ?
My favorite civ? Well, I really like Chinese, but probably Vikings. My favorite civ is Vikings. Yeah.
So if you couldn't get Vikings, you'll get Chinese.
Yeah, but I'm saying favorite not as in the gameplay, but in the lore of the civ.
Just to pick, like for me, I love Tudons, but they're not competitive.
That's true. So I don't feel or feel that Vikings are the most competitive civ either, but I think like the nerf they got, like taking out Thumbring, really hurted them. They were very, very good back then, and now it feels like the civ just collapsed.
Yeah, that's true. They were a very strong archer, infantry civ, and yeah, now without the Tamarind, it's definitely lacking that path of the strategy in the mid game.
Yeah, they were very defensive, and now without Thumbring, they are even more very defensive. But they are still great on water maps.
Do you have any other favorite games?
Um, right now, well, I've been trying to play some Elder Ring, which I got a few months ago, but I haven't played it much. So, um, no, I would say AOE 2,
Okay.
and I've been playing some AOE 4 lately. That's basically it. I try not to play other games because if I kind of get hooked up to with other game, it can be trouble.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like sometimes I feel like I'd have the console just sitting there, and I feel bad because, like you said, you start to play a game, you get so hooked, you like don't come back
Yeah,
to AoE for like a week.
yeah, that's true, and it's like you're wasting time. That's how I feel if I play other game. Instead, if I play a game that like AOE 2 or AOE 3, well, at least I'm trying something. I'm doing this. Like it's if I go and play, I don't know, Elder Ring or any other game like Fortnite or whatever, I feel like okay, it's fun for a bit, but then it goes from the fun to waste the time.
Which is your favorite map?
Favorite map? Well, I would say Arabia. Or maybe Four Lakes. Maybe Four Lakes.
Yeah, Four
Yeah.
Lakes is
But
fun.
I feel like Four Lakes is like really fun to play a few games. After a few games, it just gets too repetitive, and there's no good replayability in that map compared to Arabia. So Arabia is like, even though the map is always the same, it's much more complex than that, and different zips bring different strategies. And setting Four Lakes, like the strategies are much more smaller or less strategies.
Yeah. Do you love your sneak wheels on Four Lakes?
Yeah, I'm known for that, but I haven't done that lately, I guess so.
Nice. And what's your favorite unit?
Favorite unit? It used to be the Mangudai, but I'm not so sure anymore. Like, favorite Mangudai was easily the best unit, and also when I used to play 20 years ago, it was the best unit too. But I still like the Plume Archer, the Jaguar Warrior. It's not like I don't think I have one favorite unit.
Nice. And what's your favorite hobby aside from gaming?
Well, I used to paint small miniatures from like fantasy and historical miniatures, but I haven't done that for a couple of years, so the hobby is in standby, kinda.
Yeah. Life is the hobby now.
Yeah, well, I have a family with now two kids instead of one, so
Yeah.
between that and gaming, it's just it's hard to have that time to have a hobby. Maybe in the future.
Yeah. I mean, it's lovely to have, a family to spend time with. I have some nephews and I cannot wait to have my own kids. And it's just, I don't know. For me, I love the time that you can spend with them because they have all these ideas, when they're so young, they have such imagination.
Yeah, that would be like my hobby is spending time with the family and just trying to have some fun.
If you had to pick an AoE game, one, two, three, four, mythology, which one would you pick?
No, I would. That's an easy question. Obviously, AOE too.
AoE two. Okay.
Yeah.
Just,
Again, I was gonna make a joke, but there's no joke. It's
there's no contest.
yeah. It's just yeah. It's by far. I mean, it's like the other AOE twos. I mean, the other AOEs haven't been really on point with it. At least the design and stuff, the gameplay.
Yeah. Do you have any questions for me or anything to say to the audience before we finish the podcast?
Well, you can watch me live. Sometimes I not every day, but most of the week or during the week, you can find me on twitch.tv /Capoch. And well, thank you guys for listening, and you're welcome to come and stop by the stream and say hi.
Yeah, we'll link your Twitch and YouTube channel to the video description, hopefully as well as to the podcast one, because Sometimes Spotify won't let you write too much, but we'll try to link both of them to our podcast.
Very nice. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Nice to have you here today, and have a good day.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.
Well, it was great to have Capoch today. That was an amazing interview where we got some insights for where the game used to be back when it started, as well as where the game is today. We also got some perspective as what it's like to be in the top 10, be a competitive AOE pro player, how not playing or playing can make a big dent on your progress, and what it's like to balance AOE 2 and AOE 4 at the same time, as well as balance your personal life. I think Capoch is a great individual and wish him the best in whatever tournaments to come. We'll also see you in the next episode of AOE Legends. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel or to wherever you get your podcast from. Have a great day. Bye.